Welcome back everyone to the show where we dissect the latest financial numbers. Today we are looking at Adani Total Gas Limited or ATGL. They're a major player in India's city gas distribution scene.
That's right. ATGL focuses on supplying piped natural gas or PNG to homes, industries and businesses, and compressed natural gas or CNG for vehicles. They've also ventured into newer areas like e-mobility through Adani Total Energies, E-Mobility Limited, ATEL, and biomass energy via Adani Total Energies, Biomass Limited ATBL. Plus, they have a significant joint venture with Indian Oil called Indian Oil Adani Gas Private Limited or IOAGPL.
So, a diversified energy player. They've just released their results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31, 2025. These are audited results approved by the board on April 28, 2025. We'll be discussing both the standalone and consolidated figures today.
Correct. The auditors Walker Chandiok and County LLP have given an unmodified opinion on both sets of results, which is a positive sign right off the bat.
Good to know. Let's dive into the numbers, starting with the consolidated results for the fourth quarter. How did the revenue look compared to last year?
Okay. Looking at the consolidated figures for Q4 FY25, revenue from operations came in at 1,453 crore rupees. Comparing that year over year, it's up about 15.4% from the 1,258 crore rupees reported in Q4 FY24.
A solid 15% jump year over year on the top line. And what about the quarter over quarter performance for revenue?
Sequentially, quarter over quarter, the revenue saw a smaller increase. It was up about 3.7% from the 1,401 crore rupees they posted in the previous quarter, Q3 FY25.
Okay, growth both year over year and quarter over quarter, though the sequential growth is more modest. Now, let's talk profitability. How did the consolidated EBITDA shape up for Q4?
Consolidated EBITDA for Q4 FY25 stood at 274 crore rupees. Now comparing that year over year, it's actually down by about 9.6% from the 303 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
Down year over year? That's interesting, given the revenue growth. How does that look quarter over quarter for EBITDA?
Sequentially, quarter over quarter, the consolidated EBITDA is slightly up about 0.7% from 272 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. So a slight sequential improvement but a year-over-year decline.
Okay. Let's move down the line to profit before tax or PBT on a consolidated basis for the quarter.
Consolidated PBT for Q4 FY25 was 204 crore rupees. This includes a share of profit from their joint ventures amounting to about 6.2 crore rupees. Year over year, this PBT is down by about 11% from the 229 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
And the quarter over quarter picture for consolidated PBT?
Quarter over quarter, the consolidated PBT increased by about 6.25% from 192 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. So similar to EBITDA, down year over year, but up sequentially.
Alright, and the bottom line? Consolidated profit after tax or PAT for Q4?
The consolidated PAT for Q4 FY25 came in at 155 crore rupees. Year over year, that's a decrease of about 7.7% compared to the 168 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
Okay, a year over year dip there too. How about the quarter over quarter consolidated PAT?
Sequentially, consolidated PAT saw a decent jump up by about 9.15% from the 142 crore rupees reported in Q3 FY25.
So the quarterly trend seems to be improving sequentially towards the end of the year, even if the year over year comparisons show some pressure on profits. What about the earnings per share, the EPS on a consolidated basis?
Consolidated EPS for Q4 FY25 was 141 paise. Year over year, that's down from 153 rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter over quarter, it's up from 129 paise in Q3 FY25, mirroring the PAT trend.
Got it. Was there any significant other income impacting these consolidated quarterly numbers?
Okay, other income on the consolidated level was about 8 crore rupees in Q4 FY25. This is lower compared to the 15 crore rupees in Q4 FY24, but slightly higher than the 7 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Okay, thanks for that consolidated quarterly breakdown. Now let's switch to the standalone results for Q4 FY25. How does the revenue compare there?
On a standalone basis, Q4 FY25 revenue from operations was 1,448 crore rupees. That's up 15.2% year-over-year from 1,257 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Very similar growth to the consolidated level.
And the standalone revenue quarter-over-quarter?
Sequentially, standalone revenue increased by 3.65% from 1,397 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. Again, quite close to the consolidated sequential growth.
Okay, consistency there. What about standalone EBITDA for Q4?
Standalone EBITDA for Q4 FY25 was 274 crore rupees. Year-over-year, this is down 10.16% from 305 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
And the quarter-over-quarter standalone EBITDA comparison?
Quarter-over-quarter, standalone EBITDA saw a slight increase of 0.7% from 272 crore rupees in Q3 FY25. The trends here are almost identical to the consolidated level.
Interesting. How about standalone PBT for the quarter?
Standalone PBT for Q4 FY25 stood at 198 crore rupees. Year-over-year, this is down 12.77% from 227 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
And quarter-over-quarter for standalone PBT?
Sequentially, standalone PBT rose by 2.6% from 193 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Finally, the standalone profit after tax or PAT for Q4?
Standalone PAT was 149 crore rupees in Q4 FY25. Year-over-year, that's down 9.7% from 165 crore rupees in Q4 FY24.
And the sequential quarter-over-quarter standalone PAT?
Quarter-over-quarter, standalone PAT increased by 4.2% from 143 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And the standalone EPS for the quarter?
Standalone EPS for Q4 FY25 was 1.36 rupees, down from 1.50 rupees year-over-year, but up from 1.30 rupees quarter-over-quarter.
It seems the standalone quarterly performance very closely mirrors the consolidated trends. Year-over-year, pressure on profits despite revenue growth, but sequential improvement in Q4 compared to Q3.
Exactly. The differences between standalone and consolidated profits are mainly due to the share of profit from joint ventures, which was about 6.2 crore rupees in Q4 FY25 on the consolidated side.
Now that we've covered the quarter, let's look at the full financial year FY25 performance. Can you summarize the key consolidated metrics for the full year compared to FY24?
Certainly. For the full year FY25 on a consolidated basis, revenue from operations was 5,412 crore rupees, up 12.4% year-over-year from 4,816 crore rupees. EBITDA was 1,164 crore rupees, up slightly by 1.4% year-over-year from 1,148 crore rupees. PBT, including JV share of 15 crore rupees, was 875 crore rupees, which is actually down 2.3% year-over-year from 896 crore rupees. PAT was 654 crore rupees, down 2.1% year-over-year from 668 crore rupees. And EPS for FY25 was 5.95 rupees compared to 6.07 rupees in FY24.
So for the full year, consolidated revenue grew strongly, but EBITDA saw marginal growth and PBT and PAT slightly declined year-over-year. How does the standalone full year picture compare?
For the full year FY25 on a standalone basis, revenue from operations was 5,398 crore rupees, up 12.15% year-over-year from 4,813 crore rupees. EBITDA was 1,167 crore rupees, up 1.5% year-over-year from 1,150 crore rupees. PBT was 868 crore rupees, down 1.6% year-over-year from 882 crore rupees. PAT was 648 crore rupees, down 0.76% year-over-year from 653 crore rupees. EPS for FY25 was 5.89 rupees compared to 5.94 rupees in FY24.
Very similar patterns between consolidated and standalone for the full year as well. Strong revenue growth but profitability facing some headwinds compared to the previous year. What's driving this pressure on profits despite higher revenues?
The company commentary points to a couple of key factors. Firstly, the cost of natural gas rose by 15% in FY25 on a standalone basis. This was driven by a lower allocation of the cheaper domestically produced APM gas, especially for the CNG segment, which had to be replaced with higher priced gas like new well gas, intervention gas, RLNG, or spot purchases. The APM allocation for CNG dropped significantly, particularly from April 2025. While they passed on some costs, they took a calibrated approach to maintain volume growth.
Right, so rising input costs squeezed margins despite higher sales volumes. Speaking of volumes, how did they perform?
Volumes were strong. For FY25 standalone, total volume was 993 million metric standard cubic meters, MMSCM, up 15% year over year. CNG volume grew 19% to 663 MMSCM, driven by network expansion, while PNG volume grew 7% to 330 MMSCM, helped by new connections. In Q4 alone, standalone volume was up 13% year over year.
That volume growth is impressive. Were there any exceptional items affecting the results in FY25?
No, the reports don't indicate any significant exceptional items for the year, suggesting the results reflect the underlying operational performance and the cost pressures we discussed.
Let's touch upon the balance sheet. Any key highlights from either the standalone or consolidated perspective as of March 31, 2025?
On the standalone side, net fixed assets reached 5,266 crore rupees, an addition of nearly 750 crore rupees during the year, reflecting their infrastructure expansion. Gross debt increased by 275 crore rupees to 1,746 crore rupees. However, the debt-to-net fixed assets ratio remained constant at 0.33 times, which is healthy. The net debt-to-EBITDA ratio stood at a comfortable 1.06 times. They also secured a significant global financing facility of $375 million to fund capex over the next 2 years. The consolidated balance sheet shows slightly higher total assets due to the inclusion of subsidiaries and JVs, but the overall health metrics remain strong.
Good financial discipline, it seems. What about cash flows and dividends?
The consolidated cash flow statement shows robust cash flow from operations at 964 crore rupees for FY25, slightly up from 955 crore rupees in FY24. Cash used in investing activities was significant at 933 crore rupees, mainly for purchasing property, plant and equipment, reflecting their expansion. Financing activities generated about 56 crore rupees, primarily from borrowings offsetting repayments and finance costs. Importantly, the board has recommended a dividend of 25 paisa per equity share for FY25, subject to shareholder approval.
Okay. Now the reports mention ATGL operates in a single segment, selling and distribution of natural gas. But within that, how are the different business drivers performing, like CNG versus PNG, or the newer ventures?
That's right. Technically one reportable segment. But the drivers are varied. As we saw, CNG volume growth 19% in FY25 outpaced PNG growth 7%. CNG network expansion was aggressive, reaching 647 standalone stations, adding 100 in FY25. PNG connections crossed 9.6 lakh homes. The newer businesses are also gaining traction. ATEL, the e-mobility arm, installed over 3,400 charging points, energizing over 2,300. They are the number one airport charge point operator. ATBL, the biomass venture, commissioned its Barsana plant producing biogas and launched its organic manure brand Harit Amrit. The joint venture IOAGPL also continued to expand its network.
So strong execution across the board, driving that overall volume growth. How does the company explain the FY25 performance overall?
Management highlights the robust operational and infrastructure performance, achieving 15% volume growth year-over-year standalone. They emphasize accelerating operations excellence through digitalization. They acknowledge the challenges faced due to domestic gas allocation changes, but state they maintained EBITDA through calibrated price adjustments and volume growth. They are clearly committed to expanding both the core CNG-PNG network and the new sustainable businesses like e-mobility and biomass.
Were there any other significant events or notes mentioned in the reports?
Yes, a few key things. The change in APM gas allocation policy effective April 16, 2025, reducing the CNG allocation from around 51% to 37%, replaced by new well gas or intervention gas, is significant for future costs. They highlighted their improved DJSI ESG score and various awards. There were also key management changes announced. Ms. Mira Soni resigned as company secretary effective May 31, 2025, to take on a different role within the Adani Group, and Mr. Anil Agrawal was appointed as the new company secretary effective June 1, 2025. They also appointed Makarand M. Joshi and company as secretarial auditors for 5 years. The notes also mention the ongoing SSR matter and the US DOJ by SEC investigation involving a director, but state these do not pertain to the group and have no impact on the financial results.
Crucially, what did the auditors say? You mentioned unmodified opinions, but was there anything else to note in their reports for either standalone or consolidated results?
As mentioned, Walker Chandiok and County LLP issued clean, unmodified opinions for both standalone and consolidated results for the year ended March 31, 2025. In the consolidated report, they included an other matter paragraph para 12, stating they did not audit the financials of the two subsidiaries, ATEL, ATBL, and the two JVs IOAGPL smart meters. These were audited by other auditors. Their opinion on the consolidated results, insofar as it relates to these entities, is based solely on the reports of those other auditors. This is a standard procedure in consolidated audits and does not represent a qualification or modification of their opinion. So, bottom line, clean audit reports for both standalone and consolidated financials.
Excellent. That provides important assurance. So, pulling it all together, what's the outlook for Adani Total Gas, considering these results and the market context?
The outlook appears cautiously optimistic. Disclaimer: as always, investors should consult certified financial advisors before making any investment decisions. ATGL has demonstrated strong volume growth driven by aggressive network expansion in its core CNG and PNG business. The ramp-up of its e-mobility and biomass ventures adds new growth avenues. Their ability to secure large financing indicates confidence from lenders. However, the key risk remains the volatility in gas prices and the impact of reduced APM gas allocation on margins. Managing costs effectively while continuing network expansion will be crucial. Competition in the CGD sector and regulatory changes are other factors to monitor.
So, to conclude,
Adani Total Gas delivered strong volume growth in FY25, showcasing expansion momentum. While revenue grew healthily, profitability faced pressure due to higher gas costs stemming from reduced APM allocation. However, EBITDA remained largely stable year over year. The company is actively expanding its core CGD infrastructure alongside promising ventures in e-mobility and biomass. The balance sheet remains comfortable, and importantly, the auditors have issued clean, unmodified opinions on both standalone and consolidated results. The challenge ahead lies in navigating gas cost volatility while sustaining growth across its diverse energy portfolio.
a very comprehensive overview. Thanks for breaking down those numbers for us.
My pleasure.
That's all the time we have for today. Join us next time for another deep dive into the world of finance.